Funny if like they had a postseason tournament where they're like, since we have so many Bulldog names, like we need to narrow it down to one. So whoever wins gets to keep their name. You'd see the best basketball of your life. There's going to be some crazy shit. People are going to bet Eastern Washington, they lose by 10. And people are going to be like, oh my God, this team sucks. Or like Montana State blows a game and people are like, what the Big Sky's trash.
I feel like I just can't take you seriously. And at the same
program.
time, yeah, it's like I simultaneously can't take you seriously and I'm extremely interested in everything that you have to say.
That's good. That's what we need out of this stream, okay? Is that like inertia or something? There's like a...
Well, I mean, like, moving water requires colder energy to freeze. I can go call my mom. My mom literally lives on a river in Wisconsin.
What do we call that? Boots on
ground. Yeah. Okay, so you've got your mom's house on the under, and you've got life savings on UNLV. What else? What else can we wager? Future Kids College Fund. I mean, yeah. Well, so we're gonna double up, right? So we're gonna parlay the house and the life savings, and then we're gonna roll that through on something.
Told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly. We get it bouncing like Betty's. I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli. It's leave on a levy. No sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do. Hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm Coos. All faith, God's plan, you just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told them no cap like a fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP, like my name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit on my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Catwise Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's stream. Apologies for the late start. I royally fucked some stuff up earlier this morning in regards to some college basketball stuff. So I was scrambling, trying to get that fixed. It's going. But yeah, I'm a little frazzled right now with trying to get that done. Need to go send out a tweet real quick. Say like, hey, stream is live. Live now. Going through Thanksgiving NFL slate. Something like that works. Boom. Wow, W tweet. Okay. But yeah, we're here. We've got 4 games to talk about. We've got 3 games tomorrow for Thanksgiving. We've got one random ass game on Friday. I don't know why there's a game on Friday. I'm honestly kind of here for it. It's always a bit of a letdown on Thanksgiving, I feel like. Just like you watch football all day on Thursday, and then what do you do on Friday? There's nothing to do on Friday. So now we have a nice afternoon NFL game to talk about on Friday as well. Also, I just realized in my being frazzled, I put the wrong New York logo up. We are off to a wonderful start here. So let me go fix that too. The Giants are definitely not playing on Friday against the Dolphins. That should be the Jets. W professional streamer over here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. One second. Also, I'm gonna get to all the comments that we have in 1 second. Just need to get my shit together a little bit. All right, let's go like that, and like this, and like this, and like this, and like this. Bam, there we go. Look at that. We have the correct logos on the screen. We're off to a flying start. All right. So what do we got?
To the Catwash.
Oh, so we've got Ahan coming in with the 11-month sub. Bang, appreciate that. With the turkey emote. Ahan, you got any plans for Thanksgiving? Also, just in general, everybody in chat, what do you got going on for Thanksgiving? I'm trying to get all of my shit that I need to get done for the next few days done. Gonna be heading out to my parents' house, and would like to not commute back to my apartment for a few days. That would be great. But yeah, just me, my dad, my stepmom, and my dog, who is always being loud, eating her food on stream. So yeah, what are you guys doing? What do we got going on? Let's do a little roll call. So we got Scrunch in the house. We got Crispy says Marquette is a wagon. Best defensive performance I've seen in a long time. Yeah, Shaka Smart is a great basketball coach. I know things at Texas did not go great for him, but Marquette really feels like a perfect spot for him. I mean, his defenses at VCU were just insane. Texas, it kind of felt like they wanted to just bring in the best players and not necessarily the best system fits for what Shaka Smart wanted to do. But now at Marquette, they're just so good. I'm a big fan of Shaka Smart, and therefore a big fan of Marquette basketball these days. What's up, ASDF says, anyone else lose that plus 250 underdog that was leading all game on a full court buzzer beater? It was Kennesaw State and ECU. Yeah, the Kennesaw and Xavier game in March Madness cost me. I made a lot of coin on that game because I had what did I have? I had a $100 ticket at like plus 650, I think, on Kennesaw State ML in that game because I was on the Kennesaw State wagon all year. And when they were up, I middled it like 5 times. Like Xavier plus 6.5, Xavier plus 5.5, Xavier plus 8.5, that kind of thing. If Kennesaw was able to win by like 5 points or something, I would have made like $1,500 on that game. Still ended up making like a couple hundred, but it could have been so much better. So I was pissed at Kennesaw for that for sure. But yeah, losing on a half-court buzzer beater is a whole lot of piss. Also says, it's funny how the media tries to push Tyler Kolek as the face of Marquette. Yeah, I mean, Tyler Kolek is the point guard. I mean, the media, other reasons probably also, which are not good reasons. But yeah, no, Marquette's got so many good players. Also, when is the contest stream this week? So yeah, there's not going to be one this week. It was supposed to be this morning. I forgot that it was supposed to be this morning until like after it was supposed to start, and then I was dealing with a bunch of shit this morning. So I think there's not going to be a contest stream this week just because it's Thanksgiving. And then it's probably going to be the Friday afternoon time coming up. Also, assume contest picks are going to be Sunday, Monday only. No. So the twist this week, and I need to go do this too. The pick it twist is just any bet from a Thanksgiving game. And you can, if you want, you can submit that one by itself. Say like this is my twist play, and then submit the rest of your card as usual Sunday morning. Yeah, and you can submit that at any time before that game starts. So like if you have a Seahawks Niners play, you can submit it at 4:00 in the afternoon tomorrow or whatever. So that works. Who else we got? We got West by God. How's it going? Says, my wife asked if my bags were packed for our trip. Told her I had sweats and joggers. Good to go. West by God, do you own any like other pants other than sweats and joggers? You kind of feel like a sweats and joggers only kind of guy. So ACF says, spending holidays alone, secretly the best. Yeah, it's nice like every now and then, but like it's nice to spend time with family too. Tyler Kolek looks a lot like Jerry West. You could say that. Contest by week. Yeah, by as far as the stream goes. Also, what's up, Anders? How's it going? My goat. Everybody, if you guys want to go watch me play Fortnite occasionally while I'm not streaming, go follow Anders. Or if you just want to watch good Fortnite gameplay in general, Anders is my homie. Great guy. Good stream. Go do that. Jeans to work for West by God. Also, what's up, T Cherry? How's it going? The OG himself. All right. Let's dive into some of these games. So again, we've got 4 games to talk about. The 3 Thanksgiving games, plus the Friday game, which is the Dolphins, and now the Jets, which is correct logo up on the screen. So gonna go a little bit different than usual, because I mean, for the usual primetime streams, we got like 1 game. We do like the super deep dive into all the different prop markets, and then with the like 12, 16 game Sunday slates. Spend like 5 minutes on each game. We're going to be going like 10, 15 minutes on each game here. So what I need from you guys in order to get polls going is just your favorite bet in the Packers and Lions game. It can be any bet. It can be a side. It can be a total. It can be a prop. Post your bet. I will take up to 5, put them in a poll, see what you guys like. So in this game, 1 second, little coffee break. We've got the Lions, 7.5 point favorites at home against the Packers in this spot. Over under in this game sitting at 47. So the Lions, historically, not a very good Thanksgiving team. At the same time, I mean, a lot of that is probably because the Lions are just not a good team historically. But this season, the Detroit Lions look, I mean, obviously very good. Defense is playing well. The offense is really clicking. Jared Goff playing well. Jahmyr Gibbs, they seem to have finally kind of found the appropriate way to incorporate him into the offense with David Montgomery. Neither of them doing like crazy things, but together, it's working out really well. Wide receivers are coming along great. Amon-Ra St. Brown has established himself as one of the best guys in the league. Secondary options, which I think were a big concern for the Lions coming into this year, all playing like well enough. So Lions, yeah, they look good. Kind of strange to see -7.5 for Detroit on Thanksgiving, but you know, that's the reality that we live in these days. The Packers also with an impressive showing last week. I mean, they beat the Chargers. I don't know if we can say that beating the Chargers is like actually that impressive at this point. They seem to allow 300 yards passing to everybody. Every game is close. Even if they're winning, if they're losing. So on that note, maybe not the most surprising thing that the Packers won that game. Maybe not the the most impactful thing for projecting what's going to happen in this game either. I don't know that beating the Chargers really means anything moving forward. I'd rather look back at the other data points that we have from the Packers this year when looking at this game. All right, so let's get this poll going. Favorite bet in Packers Lions. I said we have Ahan with a joke. Samori Toure touchdown at plus 1,600. Real time though. We've got David Montgomery. What, Ahan? Can you give me just like one of those? I don't want to put a parlay in here. T Cherry says Jordan Reed or Jaden Reed over 22.5 receiving yards. We've got Lions team total over. I'm assuming that's supposed to be over 27.5, not minus 27.5. That would be wild. Crispy's got David Montgomery at over 66.5 rushing yards. We've got AJ Dillon over 12.5 receiving yards from Jay Ballin. And get a kicker on there. If anybody has a kicker prop, I'll throw it on the poll. Waiting for one more. I'll start the poll up as soon as we get a fifth bet. We're not really in a huge rush here. Also, why has everybody suddenly got minus 109s? I guess it's only pick six that's got minus 109. And then Montgomery minus 118. Okay. That bum Joe Barry thinks 2 stand-up ends and a DT is sufficient to stop a run game. Yeah, it is, right? Right? No, it's not. Yeah, the Lions had so much success running the ball against the Packers. We're going to jump into that in a little bit. All right, I'm also just going to get this poll started with these 4 options. So also, yeah, George, no college basketball today. We are doing the Thanksgiving football prep today. No college basketball for me. All right. So for each of these games, what I'm going to be doing is going through. I'm going to have a play on sides and totals, and a prop, kind of mashing together, finding the happy medium between the long Sunday streams and the, I guess, also the same length primetime streams. But you guys know what I mean. Okay. So model in this game likes the Lions to cover 7.5. Also likes the under in this spot, although neither of them like super crazy leans from the model. This score this one actually looks like remarkably similar to the Cowboys Commanders game, which is kind of funny. If I'm picking a side, I'm definitely taking the Lions. I don't really want to endorse a big spread in a Thanksgiving game, which also probably foreshadowing some of the other stuff I have to say later on about some other games. But yeah, I lean the Lions. Don't want to lay 7.5 here. So I think I'm actually going to take the under as my bet as far as a spread or a total goes in this game. I see a Han with hot takes coming up. Commanders win outright. I don't know if they're going to win outright. I definitely like the Commanders to cover. No spoilers though. But yeah, this just feels like a game where both teams are gonna have some success running the ball. The Lions at least for sure. The Packers, I guess, have some question marks. Aaron Jones is probably maybe not playing. Do we know what's going on with Aaron Jones? Because he left that last game. I guess he's listed as doubtful here. A.J. Dillon also listed as questionable, and Emmanuel Wilson, who got hurt last week, also listed as questionable. Yeah, Wilson didn't practice. Dillon limited in practice. So the Packers run game might actually not be all that hot. I mean, maybe get the Patrick Taylor show coming up. They're number 4 back. But yeah, the last time that these two teams played, the Lions ran the ball 40 times against the Packers. David Montgomery had 32 carries for 121 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs also chimed in 8. I doubt that they run the ball 40 times again. I mean, that's insane. But if they're running the ball even 30 times with their backs at like the 4 yards per carry clip that they did, that's just going to chew clock. It's going to chew clock, and it's going to chew clock. And if we're getting clock chewed, chown, whatever the fuck, if the clock is getting chewed like that, and the Packers maybe are gonna be one-dimensional offensively, I think that the under here is the best look for sure. So give me the under 47 as my spread or total in this game. So moving on to some props. Let's think about first the things that you guys said. Everybody looks like they're voting for David Montgomery. If you guys have not voted, by the way, be sure to get your votes in the poll closing in about 2 minutes. Would love to know what the Sharpest community on Twitch has to say about props in this game. I think with Reed, I think I like that number. Lions team total, I'm kind of iffy on that. It feels kind of correct. David Montgomery rushing yards is probably a good look here. I actually kind of almost would rather take the attempts for Montgomery. I know we all had a little bit of a bad experience with the attempts last week. It was like Ben's POD at 12.5 and it got hooked. I think that was more because the Lions only had like 20 minutes of possession against the Bears. And if you're getting a guy who's got 12 carries in 20 minutes, if you project that up to like 30 minutes or 35 minutes, and I think the Lions had like 38 minutes of possession against the Packers the last time these teams played. It shouldn't be that high again. But you're definitely looking at I would say closer to 20 carries. So I really like the look on Montgomery. Basically anything. I'd also rather be on the attempts. I see Heisenberg saying Ben is on the attempts. But yeah, I think the rushing yards is a good look. I think the touchdown is a good look for Montgomery. Anything Montgomery related, I'm cool with. There is, however, one other Lions player that I am looking to target even more than Dave Montgomery in this game. And that player is Josh Reynolds. I want Josh Reynolds over 19.5 receiving yards in this game. The Lions' pass-catching options behind Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown have been a little all over the place. There's a reason that you if we're looking at the receiving yards numbers for guys in this game on the Lions, you've got Khalif Raymond at 12.5, you've got J-Mo at 22.5, you've got Montgomery at 5.5, you've got Brock Wright without a number up, but he'll get some touches. We got Reynolds at 20.5 now, so it's actually moved up a yard since I was looking earlier. Gibbs at 27.5. Just like so many guys in this like kind of 5 to 25 range. It's kind of like what you see with the Chiefs. And in those situations, it's oftentimes, I think, hard to pick out who the guy's going to be. You know Amon-Ra is going to get his. You know Sam Laporta is going to get his. Who's going to be the next guy? Ahan says, love Josh Reynolds. Also want to see DPJ more involved. If he runs 10-plus routes, he's scoring. Yeah, but is he going to run 10-plus routes? I think he played like 5 snaps last week. And I honestly, I think so. So last week's numbers are one of the 2 reasons why Josh Reynolds is the guy that I really want here. So Josh Reynolds only had like, 1 catch last week or something? He had 2 routes for DPJ last week. DPJ was my wagon last year. I could not be further out this year. But yeah, Josh Reynolds last week, underwhelming, 1 catch for 11 yards on 2 targets. He hasn't hit 20 in 3 weeks, but he played 75% of the snaps. I mean, they gave like J-Mo had some extra run last week. I think he scored a touchdown in that game too against the Bears. But I think that this is a Josh Reynolds game. So the Packers allow the 3rd highest proportion of their production to wide receivers on the outside. We know they've got 1 good corner for sure in Jair Alexander. If he's out there, he's going to be on Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Josh Reynolds is the guy on the Lions who runs the highest proportion of his routes and gets the highest proportion of his production on the outside. So I just think from that perspective, this is the guy to target. So give me Josh Reynolds over 19.5 receiving yards. Or I guess it's at 20.5. We got to cite, the numbers that are actually available right now. So 20.5 yards for Josh Reynolds. And then chat, unsurprisingly, Dave Montgomery over 68 and a half yards. So let me get this updated. As far as Packers props go, I think it's kind of tough just because we don't really know what we're getting out of the backfield. We've got, again, Aaron Jones probably not playing in this game. A.J. Dillon questionable. Emmanuel Wilson questionable. And those guys being in or out also really impacts the passing game. I think that there wasn't even an... let me go double check. But I was looking earlier. There wasn't even an attempt number for Jordan Love up in this game. Okay, no, there is one now. Oh wait, no, it's the Seahawks and Niners game doesn't have passing attempt numbers up for the guy. But yeah, I don't really want to fuck with Packers props here. Chris says Jordan Love rush attempts, maybe because of the Lions D-line rush, potentially. If we're thinking that the Lions are going to get a lot of pressure on, if we think the Lions are going to get a lot of pressure on the Packers, I just don't even want to bet anything related to the Packers. Because like if the Lions can just key in on the pass rush and not even have to worry about the run game, it's probably bad news bears for the Packers just across the board. I'd rather bet that because if we think that's going to happen, I'd rather bet the under or a Packers team total under or just like unders for Jordan Love in the passing game. Lions struggled with contain on Fields last week. Yeah, they did. But Jordan Love is not Justin Fields on the ground. I'm a big Justin Fields hater, as everybody knows. But the dude can run. There's no doubt about that. All right. So going to move now into the second game. And just like we did with the first one, chat, what I need from you guys is your favorite bet in the Washington Commanders and Dallas Cowboys game. So we're looking at Cowboys minus 11.5, over-under sitting at 48 in the afternoon Thanksgiving game. Give me your favorite bet. It can be a side, a total, a team total, any player prop, passing prop, rushing prop, receiving prop, touchdown prop. T-Cherry, Cowboys fan, says Cowboys alt spread minus 70. No, they're not playing the Broncos. I don't think they're going to put up 70. We've got Commanders plus 11.5 out of Heisenberg. Also, I need to learn how to manually control when the ads run, because I feel like they always run when I'm trying to get poll responses. I'll put in the Cowboys minus 11.5 as well. If anybody else has anything, let me know. I'll let this marinate for a couple minutes while I go and talk about the game. So the Cowboys, like the Lions do, play on Thanksgiving every year, as we all know. They are, I mean, for the same reasons as the Lions, right? The Lions have been a bad Thanksgiving team because they've been a bad team every day of the year. The Cowboys have been a good Thanksgiving team, wins and losses wise, just because they've been a good wins and losses team in general, for forever, basically. That being said, recently the Cowboys have not done a very good job covering spreads, especially big spreads, on Thanksgiving. I think I looked back the last 4 years. The Cowboys have been favored in every Thanksgiving game that they've played. I think that they have lost a couple of them outright, didn't cover a couple bigger spreads. I think there was a game where they were minus 3.5 and won by 4 5 or 6 years ago, but not a whole lot of success out of the Cowboys in actually covering in these Thanksgiving games. Combining that with the fact that primetime unders implies less points, implies it's just harder to put a big gap in between the two teams. I really like the look on the Commanders to cover the spread. So let's see what we've got as far as other bets go. We've got Commanders team total over 7.5 first half. Teacher likes Jake Ferguson under 36.5 receiving yards. And yeah, they got pounced by the Manders back in 2016. All right, so I'm gonna run the poll with these options. Get your votes in. Let me know what you like. So yeah, I like the Commanders a lot in this spot. I don't trust the Cowboys to go out and put 2 touchdowns into a team like this. They've done it a couple times this year for sure. They have how many wins by this many points? Let me pull up their page real quick. Cowboys have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of their 7 wins, they've actually covered this number, which is maybe not the best sign. They've been a team, they're kind of like the Niners, where they either win by 1,000,000 points or they just lose outright. So maybe Ahan was right. Maybe it is just Commanders ML in this spot, and don't fuck around with the 11.5. But yeah, I like the look on the Commanders here. So give me Commanders plus 11.5 as my spread or total play in this game. Lamp Talk says, think the Commanders are going to have to score early. Pick Six says, wonder what... I agree. I think they're going to have to score early and late and in the middle of the game. They beat the shit out of bad teams and lose to good ones. Yeah, that's true. But so what are the Commanders? Are the Commanders a bad team or are they a good team? I kind of think neither. I think the Commanders are an okay team. They just go out there and play. Sam Howell's going to throw the ball a million times, and sometimes they'll score and sometimes they won't. And they'll be like okay defensively. But yeah, and pick six. I don't know what the answer is to that. Also, yeah, what do you guys think of Howell? I see T. Jerry says not a huge fan of Howell. I'm cautiously optimistic on Sam Howell. I'm like definitely not convinced he's the guy. But definitely the correct decision from Washington to like move on from Taylor Heineke and start Sam Howell here. Ron gambled away all of his chips. Yeah. So give me the Commanders here. Again, we've got the poll running, chat. Be sure to get your votes in on your favorite play out of all of the ones that chat suggested. And if you don't like any of the options, why the fuck didn't you give me a play? Okay. So props. There's a couple interesting matchups here in the passing game. This is another spot, and in fact, in a lot of these games, I think all 3 Thanksgiving games, there's at least one team where I just don't want to touch the run game at all. Antonio Gibson seems truly questionable for tomorrow. Of course, he missed last week. I had Chris Rodriguez's over 16.5 rushing yards as my favorite play in the Commanders game last week, and that smacked. Just a little bit hard to know what we're going to get out of him and Gibson if he's there, and Brian Robinson is going to get like more or less carries depending on whether Gibson plays or doesn't play, that kind of thing. So tough to look at the running game there. I also Tony Pollard, he's Tony Pollard. But the passing games are interesting. So Sam Howell, of course, throws the ball a million times every game. His overpassing attempts since the first couple weeks of the season has been an absolute wagon. It feels like it hits basically every weekend. It's high this week. His passing attempts number is at 39.5, which he deserves to have a number that high. That's like literally higher than Patrick Mahomes was yesterday. Yesterday? 2 days ago? 2 days ago? Yeah. Today's Wednesday. Days of the week don't matter. But yeah, so the tough part about that is that the Cowboys, teams just don't throw on the Cowboys. They are the, let's see, what is the exact number? The Cowboys are the second best team. Best, I don't know if it's something that you can really be good or bad at. It's just something that you are, but they allow the second fewest attempts to quarterbacks, which is weird, right? Because you expect that a good team like the Dallas Cowboys, teams will be trailing against them and they'll have to throw the ball. But that's just not the way that it works against the Cowboys. Teams just don't throw the ball, averaging 28 attempts. So there's a massive kind of like conflict here between Howell and throwing the ball every play, throwing the ball 45 times a game, and the Cowboys just not allowing a lot of passes. So I don't really want to fuck with that either. On the Cowboys end, I do kind of want to fuck with CeeDee Lamb. Lamb talk, maybe biased because he has Lamb in his name. Probably a coincidence, but you never know. Says Lamb might cook. I agree. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to cook. So it's something that we've seen all season long where number 1 receivers against the Commanders just absolutely torch them. We can think back to maybe the DJ Moore game where he had like 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. I know that was half a season ago, but that's like the biggest example. It happens every single week. Just whatever the number 1 receiver is against the Commanders torches them. And let me get numbers from the last few weeks. So yeah, so last week, what is he? Lamb is good in heroes. Oh my god, I would muck a hero right now. Also, do you guys say hero or gyro? Type G or H for your preferred pronunciation. But yeah, so the Manders, last few weeks, they played the Giants. The Giants don't really have like a number 1 receiver. So maybe that's an exception. But Darius Slayton put up 82 against them. The week before, DK Metcalf on the Seahawks went for 98 yards. The week before that, on the Patriots, again, they don't really have a number 1, but Demario Douglas put up 55. Juju put up 51. So I get, whatever. On the Eagles, A.J. Brown, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, number 1 receivers just demolish the Commanders. I don't want to go back and cite like every single game, but it happens every week. CeeDee Lamb's number is high, deservedly so. It's like 89.5 yards here. I'm cool paying that. I'm cool taking the high number. The only question for me is, do we take CeeDee Lamb yards or do we take CeeDee Lamb receptions? And I kind of just want to take the yards and not fuck around. We got 89.5s available in a bunch of spots. For the sake of completion, his receptions number is sitting at 6.5, but like minus 138 for the over. I don't really like paying that juice, but give me CeeDee Lamb over. What do we got? We got 89.5 yards, and I completely forgot what the poll said. So let me go take a look at the poll results. What do we got? So Marcus says Giro, Andres says Euro, West by God says Euro, Crizo says Giro, Mello says it's with a Y. It's not even a question. It's just a fact. It's with a Y. Yeah, no, my mom is Greek, kind of. She was adopted into a Greek family, so she's Greek. She says Euro. Ladder yards for Lamb. Are we really gonna ladder a guy who's already got like a baseline number this high? With a G for the fun of it? Yeah, I mean you can pronounce it with a G just like to trigger people. That would be acceptable. Crispy says, I do believe the rush from the Commanders won't be an issue with Sweat and Young Gun. Yeah, totally. No, Dak Prescott's going to have all day. I was also thinking about some Dak Prescott overs as far as like yards, completions, attempts, that kind of thing go. But I honestly, it was almost going to be like a Dak longest completion, just expecting Lamb to get one over the top or somebody to get one over the top. But yeah, so let's see. What was the poll result? Poll liked the Manders as well. All right. So we've got the Commanders for me, the Commanders for chat, and then I've also got CeeDee Lamb over yards as my prop. All right. So moving on to the next game, the last Thursday game. We've got the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. And chat, just like we've done with the other couple games, let me know what your favorite play is in the Niners Seahawks game. We've got the Niners -7 on the road in this spot, which I think is an interesting number. I mean, of course, Free Flyer likes the Niners. Put the green check mark next to it already. There's no way they lose. But yeah, -7 on the road against a kind of cold Seattle Seahawks team. I think that Seattle at this point in the season is one of the most confusing teams in the NFL for me. They have some weeks where they look like legitimately one of the better teams in the league, and then they put up some just absolute clunkers. So kind of tough for me in this one. Mello says, give me Ayuk 150 plus and 2 TDs. Disagree with the model. I also kind of disagree with the model here, if I'm being completely honest. I am in absolutely no rush to bet Seattle. Also, another thing, model sees Kenneth Walker in, and he also seems like truly questionable in this game. So if you take Kenneth Walker out, model probably moves, honestly, a couple points in the Niners' favor. So what do we got? We've got 49ers -7. I don't think Walker's going to play either. But we'll see. Chat, what else we got? CMC ATD got a hit this week. Of course. What's the price at Heisenberg? Is it like -600 or something? It feels like that's where it's at every week. If we don't have props, I'll just put in the sides and totals on the poll. So we got Seahawks +7. We've got over 44 and under 44. All right. So poll's going up, and we're gonna probably rapid fire through these last couple games. I do have to go pretty soon. I've got stuff I need to take care of. Seahawks and Niners. This is an interesting game. So with yeah, I mean, what are the Seahawks? Are the Seahawks a good team? Are the Seahawks a bad team? I mean, they're sitting at 6-4. Lost to the Rams last week. Also, what the fuck is that noise? Do you know what ESPN and their fucking autoplay videos with sound on? Just stop. I don't want it. I don't want it. It's so damn annoying. The Seahawks are a team. Yeah, that's true. Pick six. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Minus 200 best number for McCaffrey. All right. Well, polls already running. ESPN stuck in 2012. I swear they it's a newer thing within the last like month or so. It's just like, yo, you open up a box score. You wanna look at the game cast for this game? Yeah. Here's a video that's gonna start auto playing and it's gonna ear fuck you. Like, no, I don't want it. Stop. Yeah. It bothers me. I got so fucking confused. I was like looking for like an alert that was off or something. And it's like, nope, it's just ESPN. Thanks, ESPN. All right. It's like, hey, you want to get in trouble at work? Yeah. If I was gonna get in trouble at work, it would be for I would do something more scandalous than opening up ESPN. Probably. We'll see. Opening up ESPN like is my job though, so we're not gonna get in trouble for that. UNI is giving UNC some issues. Yeah, Northern Iowa is a good team. Northern Iowa is a really good team. Bowen Bourne is a stud. Duax is also a beast. Okay, so what do I like in this game? As far as sides and totals go, I really don't want to touch this game because my instincts are both kind of the opposite of what the model has. Model likes the Seahawks to cover. I kind of lean with the Niners just instinctually. Model says it's going to go over by a couple points. I also kind of think that the under is the better play here on Thanksgiving. So you know what? I'm just going to say this is a fade spot for me because I don't want to fade the model, but I don't really agree with the model either. Chat likes the Niners, which I'm not surprised about. And then for a prop, again, Seahawks run game is kind of tough here, just because we don't know if Walker's playing. I doubt that he is, but that just influences the Charbonnet numbers a lot. Geno Smith also potentially listed as questionable in this game, so I mean, like he's probably going to play, but DK Metcalf is questionable. There was no quarterback numbers up in this game, at least for attempts. You know what I want is I want the same damn thing I want every time the Niners play. I know Free Flyer tried to talk me off of it last time, and it was, I guess, kind of correct. But I think that Jackson Smith and Jigba is a good look here. He's been getting progressively more and more and more involved in the Seahawks passing attack, putting up what? 6 targets, 40 yards in the last game, 53 yards, 63 yards, only 36 against the Browns and 63. So, I mean, his number's at 38.5 here. I know the Niners are an extremely tough defense. Numbers should be lower against them than they are at anything. Trey Palmer's only big catch was on the outside. Yeah, I mean, I'm still just taking it. And I think I'm actually going to go with the receptions. Or what do you guys think? Is it JSN receptions? It was like 3.5 juiced to the over, or is it going to be the receiving yards? But the other thing here is with DK Metcalf questionable. I mean, he didn't practice on yesterday. I mean, he's probably going to play, but I think that JSN is maybe even slot narrative, which is maybe changed in the last couple of weeks aside. I still think that he's just in a good spot to receive some extra targets. I don't think that the Seahawks are going to want to go and give Charbonnet 1 million touches. They're going to throw the ball. So I want to target the Seahawks passing attack in general, and I think JSN is the guy for me. And yeah, no, Free Fly, you're totally right. There's other reasons here aside from slot narrative. Or do you think it would be a different guy? Like, do you think Lockett would be the guy to target? I don't really want to touch Metcalf here. We're looking at, as far as yardage numbers go, we've got receptions. We've got Metcalf at 4.5, JSN 3.5, Metcalf also, or Lockett also 4.5. Everybody kind of juiced to the overs. And then yardage wise, we've got Lockett at where is he? 50.5, 49.5 on FanDuel. JSN 38.5. Actually 36.5 on FanDuel. And then DK Metcalf at 58.5. Geno Smith left to throw like 40 times again? Yeah. And I think that that's why Jackson Smith-Njigba's been getting so many yards. I mean, he's had been in the 50s and 60s 4 of the last 5 weeks, and the one he didn't, he had 36. So again, even aside from slot narrative, which doesn't really exist anymore, give me JSN over 38.5 receiving yards in this spot. All right, and then the last game, which is the Friday game, the Tim Boyle era, underway in New York. Gross ass game. The Jets finally made the move to bench Zach Wilson. Tim Boyle over 6.5 touchdowns. Yeah, W. Also, yeah, by the way, guys, I need favorite bets in this game. I'm actually, you know what? I'm just going to probably run the poll with sides and totals, unless anybody's got any props that you know right off the top of your head. We've got the Dolphins minus 9.5. We got the Jets plus 9.5. Marcus likes Tyreek Hill over 5.5 receptions. Mostert, ATD for Heisenberg at plus 105. And then gonna go ahead and run the poll with that. Oh, I need a title for the poll. That helps. Okay, so there's that. You know what? So I agree with Crizzo that Boyle is probably even worse. I mean, Boyle has played a little bit in the past couple years and has not looked good. Kind of wild that he ended up in the NFL at all after the college career that he had. I actually kind of want the Jets in this spot. Is that crazy to say? Fins minus 98.5? Yeah. W typo. I mean, honestly, it could still hit. I kind of wanted the Jets here. I agree with pick 6. Like, how much worse can you be than Zach Wilson? Like, Tim Boyle is not a good quarterback. There's Tim Boyle probably knows that Tim Boyle is not a good quarterback. The fact that we're swapping out Zach Wilson for Tim Boyle, the fact that the Jets have QB issues at all, it doesn't change the fact that the Jets defense is really, really, really damn good. The Dolphins are a good team. Miami's schedule has been easy. Yeah, it has. But the Dolphins offense is, I don't know. I'm like not quite as impressed, I think, as other people are. They're like when Achane was out there, he was looking great. Mostert's been good. Tyreek Hill is good, but he's got Sauce Gardner on him. Last year, these two teams played twice, and granted, so Skylar Thompson was at quarterback for the Dolphins both games against the Jets last year, but he didn't really do, like, Tyreek Hill had 2 like terrible games, even accounting for the fact that it was Skylar Thompson and not Tua. So I'm taking the Jets plus the points here, just because I don't think that the Dolphins are going to score enough to like consistently cover this 9.5 number. Jets secondaries, yeah, no, the Jets defense is phenomenal. It's like legitimately really, really, really good. This feels like a low, ugly game. Low scoring, ugly game. So give me the Jets plus 9.5. And again, like I just don't think that at a certain point, if you're swapping bad NFL quarterback for their backup, it's a small change, right? It's not like we're swapping Aaron Rodgers for Tim Boyle. If that's the case, I mean, like, we have to dock them a lot for that. But I think that this is a number that's being influenced a little bit too much by the fact that Tim Boyle is starting here. So I like the Jets. I see chat likes Raheem Mostert. Touchdown at plus 105. Mostert touchdown, probably a good look here. Do we know if Achane is playing in this game? I guess we're 2 days out, so maybe not quite as much news as the other games. But yeah, he's questionable, slated to practice today. So maybe that's a sign that Achane is playing. But yeah, that's another reason why I don't really want to fuck with anything Dolphins run game related. Just because that is so heavily influenced by whether or not Achane is playing. And yeah, it sounds like he's playing. So yeah, I don't want to mess with that. So I do like the Jets to cover here. That being said, I have a Jets player prop under that I like in this game. Also, Heisenberg says Jets team total under 15.5. Yeah, could be a good look. Could be a good look for sure. Give me and chat. I want your guys' opinion on this. Do we take the under attempts or the under yards for Breece Hall? Breece Hall is a very good running back. Breece Hall is a phenomenal running back. He's just like, with the way that this offense is like so bad, he's like not hitting his yards numbers. The last few weeks, 10 carries for 23 yards, 13 for 28, 16 carries for 50, 12 carries for 17, 12 carries for 39. I mean, that's his last 5 games. He had like the massive 177-yard game against the Broncos. He had a 127 in week 1 against the Bills. But yeah, the Jets' offensive line is bad. The Dolphins know that the passing game isn't going to be like any kind of consistent threat. Like, Tim Boyle's not going to go out and complete 35 passes for 350 yards, right? So they can kind of key in on Breece Hall. Breece Hall's attempts number is actually really high. It's sitting at 13.5. Yeah, 13.5, like minus on points, but you can get minus 110 to the over on 13.5. Which is like, it's too high for him. He's gone over that twice this year in 10 games. He had 16 against the Chargers, and he had 22 against the Broncos. He's been under 12.5 or under 13.5 in the other 8 games they played this year. And you've got your 10-point dog, and you're going to give him an attempts number that high. I don't want to be like conspiracy theorist here, because I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? But with Tim Boyle in at quarterback, you maybe expect the Jets to feed Breece Hall the ball a little bit more, at least early on. So despite really liking the look of that under attempts number, I don't want to touch it just for that reason. So that's why I'm kind of leaning with the under yards for Breece Hall. I think we get a couple like 0, 1, 2-yard rushes kind of early on in this game, just to make it so they're not throwing the ball a million times with Tim Boyle early on. So give me Breece Hall under 49.5 rushing yards as my prop in this game, and Jets to cover, Breece Hall under. Little reverse correlation 2-legger feels kind of nice. I think that's what I'm going to be doing in these games, honestly, is not doing straight bets, just like hanging out with the fam, make a couple SGPs in these games. That's my plan. Dump off passes could be a lot of Hall's usage. Yeah, for sure. I think you can't really go wrong with either one, the under yards or the under attempts, but I really like this Breece Hall play. Okay. So favorite place in the games, in the Packers-Lions game, I really like the look of the Reynolds prop. I mean, maybe a little bit sketch with, again, the diversity in their options. Also, I think that under, it just in general, is a pretty good look. I think Chats plays great there too. In the Commanders-Cowboys game, I mean, I don't love the number at 89.5 for CeeDee Lamb, but I do really like that play. Seahawks-Niners game is definitely my least confident game out of the four. And then in the Jets-Dolphins game, I really like the Breece Hall under. I think that one is probably my favorite play out of all four of these games. Then I would probably say Reynolds over, then Lamb, then JSN, as far as favorite plays. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and call the stream. I think we've already lost a lot of people over to BTL. So go show Krabs and Javon some love over at BTL. Not going to raid them, but everyone's heading over there anyways. So yeah, W stream. Appreciate everyone hanging out. This is probably going to be the last stream until Sunday. W ad break. But yeah, good luck with your bets this weekend. Good luck if you're taking any college basketball cake today. Have a great Thanksgiving, whatever you're doing. And yeah, I will see you all on Sunday.